They are the Insiders, Pierre LeBrun and Darren Dreger, both in studio. I feel like it's a bit of a reunion. All right, guys, life's pretty good for the Calgary Flames right now. Johnny Gusdo specifically on a pace for his first 100-plus point season. What are the Calgary Flames thinking going to the trade deadline, Pierre?
Well, obviously a lot of time, 6 weeks still between now and the trade deadline, but I had a chance to speak with Flames GM Brad Treliving for a piece I'll be writing in The Athletic on Wednesday, but I can give you a little sneak peek, which is this. If there's an area that he's looking at right now, it's secondary scoring, perhaps a dip into that trade market. Now, he does think some of that secondary scoring can come from improvement from within. In fact, he pointed that Blake Coleman before the break was starting to come on offensively. But yes, if there's a trade to come, that's probably where they're going to look. And this is me, not him. I think he's got natural trade partners in teams like Montreal and Ottawa in terms of looking at the forward market. And in general, it's interesting to me that a lot of the top playoff contenders are looking at D, which might give the Flames a bit of an edge in terms of going through the forward market.
Sometimes with the trade market, we wait for the first domino to fall and then a number of other things occur on its heels. Could we see that happen as a result of the signing of an undrafted goaltender out of Major Junior?
Yeah, we're talking about Mack Guzda with the Barrie Colts and signed this weekend with the Florida Panthers. But granted, it's a twitchy time of year. You come out of post-All-Star, and yeah, the talk among NHL general manager ramps up, but so does the speculation. So you're right, Gino. I mean, when Florida announced that they had signed Mack Guzda, he's a top undrafted goaltender in Major Junior Hockey. Well, the juices start flowing a little bit because they already have a top young goaltender in Spencer Knight. So there's some around the National Hockey League who wanted to connect Bill Zito and the Florida Panthers with ongoing interest to Jake Chychrun and the Arizona Coyotes, and perhaps Florida would use one of these top young goalies as part of the bait. It's not about that, unfortunately. It's more about the Florida Panthers just stockpiling in a department in an area that they know is going to serve them well in the future.
Hey, big news on Monday when Jack Eichel was spotted skating with Vegas, not wearing a non-contact jersey, so he was in full practice. What are you expecting for a timeline there, Pierre?
Right, and it got a lot of people excited. Does that mean that he's playing, within a couple of days? That's not the case. And listen, Vegas has been very careful not to give a specific timeline for Jack Eichel's return, in part because they don't know themselves, because he's coming back from, as we know, a very unique surgery. Dregs has talked about it many times this year, so they are being careful. This was the next step all along. Coming out of All-Star, put on the contact jersey, and then see how he reacts. He could be back within the next couple of weeks, according to a source that I talked to on this day. But then, of course, if that's the case, there's some cap ramifications, as we know, with Vegas needing to make room for a Jack Eichel with a trade or two. So keep an eye on that.
In the next month or so, the U.S. college hockey seasons are going to begin to wind down. And as they do, the rumors ramp up about guys who are ready to leave college and hit the NHL. What are you hearing there?
Hey, I'm all about the college free agents, and there's a handful of them, including Corey Andonovsky, a young player from Uxbridge, Ontario, 22 years of age. He's a star winger with the Princeton Tigers. Now, Princeton isn't expected to go beyond this season, so their season is going to end in February. A lot of NHL clubs have heavily scouted Andonovsky, not just this season, but in past years as well. 7 goals, 10 assists in the 20 games that the Tigers have played to this point. And if he signs with an NHL club, which is expected, he could make that jump at the end of the season. So that's in the next 3 weeks.
All right. Listen, a couple weeks ago we were talking about during the Ducks general manager hunt that they were looking into the past to fill some other voids once they named their GM. GM's been named, and now are we starting to see some of that happen, Pierre?
So the return of Scotty Niemeyer in a more official capacity, special advisor to hockey operations. And I chatted with Niemeyer today. And listen, he's not coming back in a full-time role, but certainly in an increased role from what he's been doing the last few years. He was really merely scouting. He's still going to live in BC, but he's going to travel more to Anaheim. And part of the process here is that Scotty Niemeyer and Pat Verbeek really hit it off during the GM interview process. They see the game the same way. Pat Verbeek was comfortable with this move, and here we go. Niemeyer's back.
And here we go. The clock continues to tick down. We are now under 6 weeks to the NHL trade deadline.